minorities. And we get the bulk of it, man. We get the bulk of it, right along with the poor. So we have an administration that is coming after us. And none of it, your religion, none of this, all this stuff that keeps us divided is not going to save us if we're divided. We must come together. We must have conversations like this. We must have, even if there's discussions or disagreements, we can disagree in our safe space, and when we come out there, we have to be united. At least have a united front. I still may not like your comment, you feel me? But when you go out there with brothers, they won't know that I didn't like your comment. So that's what we're about in Black Lives Matter here in Philly, the Pennsylvania chapter. We are about building coalitions, and we are about bringing people in. Not so much just, oh, you're a member and you wear the label Black Lives Matter. No, come in to work. Whatever your talent is, bring it. You have an open door policy with us in this movement. Find your spot, get in where you fit in, and go to work. And we'll back you up. We'll back you up. And we don't deal with none of that nonsense. We need to make sure, because anti-blackness anywhere is anti-blackness everywhere. So yes, we ask, we allow our trans sisters to come in. We allow our LGBT brothers and sisters to come in, because you're black first before whoever you're engaging with. Because that ish don't matter when you're driving. Oh, we're gonna let you go because you're a trans. Oh, we're gonna let you go because you gay. Oh, we're gonna let you go because you was on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's some bullshit. You still black riding down there. So you just like me. Doesn't matter who we're going home with, we still black. And we need to realize these things that are separating us. You know, you're in a different religion. We are black at the end of the day. And anti-blackness anywhere is anti-blackness everywhere. You are my brothers and sisters. I don't need to know anything else. And trust me, when they beating your ass, you ain't worrying about what Bill and Ted is doing down the fucking street. Trust me. You looking for some allies. You looking for somebody, some black people to get your back, so you can go home to your family. You know, and I say this in the church. I grew up in a Pentecostal holiness church. I know these hypocrites. Most, you know, oh, you let gay people in speak for you in your movement. I said the most gay people I've ever met was right here in this damn church. I didn't go to a bar or something to see somebody gay. It was right here. The choir, the person that's still singing, you know, the lead, the organ player, God bless him, you know, Kenny, Brother Kenny, God bless you. Everyone knew. You know, so I didn't have to go anywhere else, you know, with a wig or something on to say gay people. I lay right here, the pastor was gay. What are you talking about? So I don't get into that, bull. I don't get into that. You my brothers, you my sister in this movement. At the end of the day, we want total liberation for black people. That's where it is for me. And there will never be any type of change for me. And Brother Michael will tell you, this is who I've been ever since he's known me when I was a young. You know, if I see you on the street, we still gonna have these conversations. I don't give a damn if there's a whole bunch of white people on the bus. When we see each other, we're gonna have these same conversations. You understand? So that's what it is for me, because if people are following me, then I have an obligation to keep that shit real. And I have the obligation to my people, to my community, and to myself. Don't think they haven't offered me money to shut me up. I'm not even gonna get into that. You know, we give you this, Brother Asa. You know, no, I don't want your stinking money. This is what the education was about, so you can go and make your own stinking money, so you don't need the white man's money. I'm good, you know, and I'm blessed to have that type of success financially, so I can come and be 100% to this movement. Because this is where my heart is. This is where I was created to be. And it does help to have a few dollars in the bank to make sure you can write a check with your brothers and your sisters out, make sure that you can get a turn. You know, Michael's doing everything, but you know, he got to eat too. You know what I mean? So we got to look out for our brothers and sisters who are in the law as well. You know? So, all right, I'm done talking. I want to hear from you guys and have this dialogue and this conversation.
Let's first give him a big round of applause. honest, so any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Yes, brother.
I have a question. You indicated when your cousin was murdered by the police that you guys did employ violence through the coalition in dealing with the police. I haven't really seen a lot of violence in the Black Lives Matter movement. Is that something that is not necessarily supported, but is that an element of the Black Lives Matter movement? Is that something that's acceptable? Is that something that would be promoted?
Well, we're clearly not as promoting violence. But like I said, I am a student personally of the great Malcolm X, who said you can be respectful, you can be honest, but if a man puts his hands on you, sit his ass in the cemetery. And what I'm saying in terms of police, if we are there peacefully protesting, and you decide that you are going to grab one of our sisters who are there protesting, standing with us by the neck, and we are peacefully protesting, then we have every right, in my opinion, in terms of the law of reciprocity, we have every right to defend that sister, to make sure that you keep your hands off of her. And that's how that went. We were not there to say we're coming to jump on you, but we let them know that you are not going to step over us in terms of exercising our constitutional right to peacefully assemble and protest. And if you think for a minute that we were going to stand by and let you put your foot in one of our sisters' asses, you thought again, and they realized real quick that that wasn't going down that way. And yes, a physical altercation took place. I'm not proud of it, but something came out of it. They understood where we were coming from in that respect. Sometimes you got to stand up against the bully for them to respect you. It can't be just so much chanting. And I'm not encouraging it, but you're not going to beat our sisters and our members and not have us say anything about it. And also, which came out of that scuffle or altercation, if you will, was the fact that Brandon's case went national. It went from local to national. And, you know, and people nationally and internationally understood or started to recognize who Brandon was. And not only with Brandon, but others who have been abused by the police here in Philadelphia. You know, we had our videotapes as well. Also, we want to mention that the former Commissioner Ramsey was at that meeting, along with Seth Williams, the district attorney, who said that the deadliest DA, a woman who was deemed the deadliest DA, was his second mom. I'm talking about Lynn Abraham. And he turned out to be the worst, worse than Lynn Abraham ever was. He was very proud to say that he was not going to charge police officers. He was very proud to say that I'm not releasing the names. Very arrogant, you know. And I think all that smile and smirk that he had, when he said, I'm not releasing the name, by the time we finished at the Northeast, he wasn't smiling when he released those names. And sometimes that's necessary. You know, it really is necessary, because you can't, there's only but so much as a man that you, and as a person, you know, that you understand.
Just one follow-up to that question, because I ask most activists or people in positions of authority or people who people look to for direction or guidance, because I have a son. This is my son.
Yes.
And I tell my son, I've searched for words, I've searched for reasons, I've searched for answers, and the only thing that I could ever come up with when I look at, when I look at the violence against Black people in America, the only thing that I could come up with after seeing it over and over, repeated, and I tell my son the same thing: you have to fight back or die. And I don't know if that's the right thing to tell my son, but it's the only thing sensible to me as a 44-year-old African American man that I can tell my son. So, what can you offer that I could tell my son different, or do you believe that that's the right thing to tell a young man?
I believe as a parent, well, first and foremost, as a father, your ultimate concern is for your son, for your family. I get it. I clearly would not come up to the brother, even if he was my son, and say, look, you know, I want you to get into a physical altercation. Understand? I think, though, the circumstances, unfortunately, is putting people in a place, young and old, where we are having to make an individual decision in terms of how we are going to allow ourselves to be treated, how we're going to allow our family members to be treated, our wives, our mothers, our grandmothers. at some point, if this system and it's corrupt and the abuse of black people, you're gonna have to make that decision for yourself. I can't tell you. I can tell you, brother, I don't want you shot. Don't do it. But as you're a spirit, even though you're in this body, and that spirit will rise up, to defend themselves. We have a right to do it. No one wants to get into a confrontation with police. No one wants to get murdered. But, brother, if he's beating your wife, I'm telling you, you're going to be forced to make those type of decisions. And black people have never been violent towards police. Police have been violent towards black people from the beginning of time. Since slavery, they were created to keep and abuse black and brown people. This is the generation just not having it anymore, and every generation gets stronger with this new, with the new generation. And it's just at a point now where, you kick my dog, I'm gonna kick your cat. Even a mutt, corner a dog. It can be the most humble dog in the world, but it will attack you because physically, it has the physical attributes to defend themselves, and so do we. I don't encourage violence, and I've said that many times, but I do understand at times violence is necessary. This country was built on violence. This nation was built on violence. Violence begets violence. And black and brown people are not going to allow you to kill their mothers, beat their grandmothers, kill their children, kill their sons. Our family, we were pushing for peace. But Brandon was loved by the hood. There were a lot of brothers who wanted to really do some things. I met with some of the brothers. And these were brothers who didn't give a crap about going to jail. People were coming to take those officers out. And we asked them, out of respect for Brandon's life, who turned his life around, not to do that. But everybody's not going to sit back and be peaceful when you taking their family members out, killing their mothers, you killing them. I'm just telling you, it's just not happening. And we see it now. And what I had was encouraged law enforcement. I met with the police commissioner in Philly, and I've encouraged him. You guys are going to have to change your ways. You guys are going to have to expose those good officers that you're running around saying that you have, or exposing those bad officers. You guys are going to have to start stepping up because, again, people are not going home and just watch, TD Jakes when their family members is dead, and you are not, you come back and say, no, we're not even going to get the names, or we're not even going to prosecute them, and they get to go home, watch Seventh Heaven, and you sitting up there talking about, well, let the Lord know. No. See, Jesus, like I'm saying, the revolutionary Jesus put his foot in people's asses. Yes, he did. And I tell a lot of these ministers, well, you're encouraged. No, I'm not. I serve the revolutionary Jesus, not your blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. I'm talking about Jesus that came and said, oh, you disrespected my father's house, and knocked the table and took the whip and whipped their asses outside the temple. I'm talking about revolutionary Jesus at his age said, this is my father's house. And was telling the elders, fascinating them. Even then he had a spirit of revolution. He was a rebel. He was a black rebel. That's why they killed him. They don't kill white people who talk about walking on water and fish and loaves. They don't kill white people like that. They don't kill black people like that. When you start talking about tearing down the system, the Roman Empire, that religious system that keeps us bound, the preacher running around in Rolls Royce and you sitting there waiting for the C bus. He said, let the Lord bless you. And you sitting there in the cold, that type of nonsense.
Amen.
This is our conversation.
That type of nonsense. See, the elders are confirming. The elders are confirming, because we have conversations before we get here. That's the type of stuff that keeps us bound. Jesus was a rebel. He will be in this movement. He will be standing next to Malcolm X. Well, Martin Luther King, even Martin became rebel in his last days. Look at his last speech. I had a dream. I don't even listen to that anymore. I'm talking about the speech where he said, I'm integrating my people into a burning house. That's what he told Harry Belafonte. See, that revolutionary spirit will come overtake you, whether you want it to or not. Because you cannot stand by and continue to see your people be abused, and you're in a position and not speak up. So even Martin became, and he lost friends. The church, all of them left. Tavis Smiley did a great book on the last days of Martin Luther King. Read that book. They all left, including Jesse Jackson. He became too militant for them. He said, you didn't hit me in my face this time, I got something for you. We're going to knuckle up. That's where he was coming from. And that's where we have to come from. We must get that respect. The hell with them asking for their respect. We have to let these motherfuckers fear us. The same way they don't talk about the Jews, the same way they don't talk about the gays. All that came out of revolution. Stonewall, all that came when somebody took a brick with a wig on and threw it and said, hey, you're not gonna beat us no more. Now here's a brick in your face. How about that? All that came from the foundation when people said enough. Ferguson showed that. You let a man lay on the ground, Mike Brown, all for hours. Before you even covered him up. Yeah, we got you now. We in your neighborhood, what you gonna do? And they showed you what they could do. You know, that's what Black Lives Matter really came out. It came from being a hashtag to what it is. It's a movement. You know, understand? And now we have to we're too busy trying to ask them to respect us. Respect us, this corrupt system, respect us. I'm a man. They know you're a man. They know you're a woman. They don't give a crap because of your skin color. So you don't give a fuck about us, then we don't give a fuck about you and this system. And if you start killing us, there's gonna be some problems. You feel me? It's gonna be some problems. You know? And I don't have to tell you to go out and kill. I don't have to advocate it. It's gonna come already. You see it. The funeral's gonna be uptown, there's gonna be a fucking funeral downtown. We're gonna have 2 funerals. Because maybe some of you have to put that black suit on, maybe you'll calm your ass down. You know, we don't have time to beg this system to respect us, to love us. It never will respect us, it never will love us. They don't see us as human. They see us demons. Something came out of Halloween, Jason, whatever the hell these cops are running around saying they don't see you. Us. It's the beautiful people of God that we are.
Brother, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The class has been organized around some themes. And so you've touched on many of the themes that we've talked about, and one is leadership model. So
Yes.
I want your perspective and your view on something. You mentioned meeting with either, I guess, Charles Ramsey or Rick Ross, or
Rick Ross.
one of the guys, okay? And so during the time when